What are the bases of social power as proposed by researchers French and Raven? Well, these researchers identified 5 or 6, depending on how you characterize it, bases or sources of social power, that is, power generally within the organization. Now, the first type of power is reward power, and that's simply the power inherent in anybody's ability to reward someone for a type of conduct or behavior. Generally, employees are rewarded by compensation, by title, by responsibility, things of that nature. Coercive power is the ability to introduce a negative factor or to take away something that someone already has, so it's introducing some level of negative influence. This could be between individuals where somebody could hurt someone else physically, or in the organization where you could take away salary or fire someone. Legitimate power is power that derives from organizational structure, that is, where people are positioned in the organization, such as the authority or power of a manager over a subordinate. Because of the inherent nature of accountability and reporting, the manager has some level of power over the subordinate. Referent power is power ascribed to someone through social or emotional means. That is, you admire someone, you respect someone, you give someone your loyalty. This is referent power. It is voluntary in nature and generally is inherent in very close-knit or tight relationships, such as familial relationships. And then there's expert power, that is someone having a high level of knowledge, skill, ability, or information. And sometimes information is broken out unto its own, but having this skill, knowledge, ability, information entails some sort of power if that information, knowledge, skill is relevant to another person. Now, in studying these bases of power, the researchers examined the reaction of the receiving agent, of the person being made subject to these influences or power. And generally, the subject being subject to these powers has one of 2 reactions, or 2 reactions together in tandem. You have an attraction based upon the power being exerted over you, and then there's an active resistance. So these 2 sentiments can exist at the same time. You can be attracted towards something or want to conform to something, but also put up active resistance. So what the researchers' studies showed was that the more legitimate the source of power, the more legitimate the coercion, or at least the perception of legitimacy, the less it will produce resistance and decrease, that is, the attempts to thwart the power or to not comply with what the individual exerting the power wishes of the individual. So these are the social bases of power and how they are relevant to organizational behavior and management.